You just bought your old truck, car. It's been sitting for years. You wanna know what to do to it? That's what I'm gonna do to it to make sure that it don't throw a bearing right off the bat. Stay tuned. Hang on. Welcome back, everybody, to How I Did a Garage. Today we're gonna be working on the C-10. So, got this Chevrolet C-10 right here. You've seen the other fella in the video I was talking about racing him in the C-10. This is who I'm working on it for. Silas, my boy Silas. So the situation with this truck is, besides being really dirty, it just hasn't ran in a while. I'm going to just make sure everything's good with it, get it running, and I mean that's pretty much it. Nothing major. I mean this thing ain't been drove since. My understanding, the guy who had this before, I mean he said he only drove it 50 miles the whole time he had it. So I think he bought it before that, but he probably just kept tagging it each year and didn't drive it. It's not a bad little truck. It just needs to be cleaned up so you don't move forward. I am not a C-10 expert. Everything's in pretty good shape, I think, considering. But this don't matter. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Yeah, cobwebs. It's been sitting for a while. You probably can't tell because of how dirty everything is. This has aluminum Holley heads on it. Has a double pump carburetor, Holley intake. It probably has a Holley. I know it has a cam in it from my understanding. Probably has some valve work done, stronger springs. The guy used to work at Holley that owned this. So, oh yeah, Holley valve covers. The guy used to work at Holley in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So he probably got a pretty good discount on most of this stuff 10 years ago. Whenever this thing was built. It might be 25 years ago, I don't know. But that's the original color of the truck. Same as the Novas probably, or similar to it, that lime green that was on everything back when. What am I gonna do? Probably need to give them some new belts. Don't have no radiator fluid in it. So I'll probably get some radiator fluid in it, drain what's in there out of it. Drain out the fuel in it, get some fresh fuel in it, change the oil in it, flush it out. Probably flush out the brake fluid. The guy said he had issues with the brakes, but at the same time, I don't know if they might have put a big cam in here and didn't put a stall in it. You know, I just don't know, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. If that is the case, I believe it's a 350 turbo. My 86 Camaro I got around back has like a 3200 stall in it that I can put in here if need be, if Silas is interested in it. Just depends on how this thing goes. So, all right, let's get to it. Lubrication. These are not wanting to move at all. Old school. Let's lube all this stuff up underneath here. Crane roller rockers in there. Good time. Went ahead and got the air hose, sprayed some stuff off. Check these plugs out and see what they look like. Black. I don't know if the carburetor is running rich or see how dirty this oil is. Yeah, it's kind of dirty. Probably has water in it, but that's why we're doing this before we even try to turn it over. Now that I'm actually kind of smelling it, kind of smells like gas, which would make sense of why the plugs was fouled out, because it's running rich, and why this is not like oil. It smells like gas, old gas. Probably gonna need some carburetor work. Oil filter put in there. Put about 3 quarts of this in there, and I'm gonna finish it up with this right here, the C-foam. That's what all it's for and can do, but I'm using it as a diluent. It will help break stuff up. It's crudted, clean oil passageways. I heard it flowing to the bottom real good, so that's a good sign. Be clean in there. Spraying aluminum roller rockers. Disconnected all the spark plug wires, not marking none of them. I'll show you how you put all that back together. What I'm gonna do is prime the oil system. This is more along the lines of what did come in here. This is what came off the 71 Nova, the original 307 motor that was in the Nova, because it was original. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this to work and on my breaks and lunch, because I would never do this on company's time. I'm going to measure the distance from here to here and make something to get put down in there with a drill and prime everything. They sell the stuff for that, but I'm cheap. Be able to get stuff out of the scrap bin and make what I need. Pretty much the situation is this right here is what the cam goes on. Just for those who don't know, this is what spins everything and makes the spark happen. It goes up there and in the firing order. Then you got this flat in here. Whenever the cam spins, this thing right here because on the back of the cam, these gears right here, it spins the oil pump too. It goes on that right there. It meshes with this. Whenever the cam spins, it spins that. Because I want to prime this before I try to start it. Got the MSD wires on it. I mean, they look good. They don't look like they wore out, so I'm sure those are going to be fine. Gas system. That's what we can do. So I went ahead and pulled the carburetor off. I want to go ahead and tear it apart and clean it up. Probably get a rebuild kit for it or whatnot. Pulled the distributor off. Good thing I did. That row pin in there is loose. It's a little bit loose in there. I could probably get something and push that thing out right now. Make sure everything's working properly up there. Lubed up like it's supposed to. Spun the crank over. Everything's spinning over easy. Got a good cap and everything on it though. So shouldn't have no issues there. Yeah, this is my priming tool I made. So just got back from the parts. Look, spark plugs, some more oil, fuel filters, and rebuild kit. And I hope it's the right one, because I'm not a carburetor expert by no means. Let's get to it. All right, well, it's finally nighttime. Spark plugs I went and got was wrong. The ones I got, theirs only came up to about right here. Anyways, got the right ones, or ones that'll work. I'm about to go ahead and drain the gas now. I was always curious about it, but I got all the spark plugs in there. These old C-10s, the gas tank is behind the seat, and that's where it comes out of right there. So now I'm about to try to take that line off. Well, honestly, I didn't think this thing would have more than 5 gallons in it. I guess I was wrong. This is probably gonna overflow. Too late now. It is what it is. Yep. So the way this system was set up is they just had this one, I'm not sure how many micron filter in it. On here it don't even say that I can see. You can look at it and pretty much tell it's a larger micron. And this one, they just had the larger one, but you're supposed to have 2. And this is how it's supposed to be set up. This is what I had on the 86 Camaro back when I done the motor swap in it when I was 18 years old or whatever. But supposed to have your smaller micron, like 100 micron or whatever, and then you have your larger one, which is probably like a 40 or 50 or whatever. Then it goes into your pump or your regulator, then into the carburetor. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and use this to regulate it. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think gas supposed to look like that. I bugged it before, but I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Well, I put gas back in it, and I was gonna try to empty it out, try to drain some more of that crud out, but I'm not getting nothing coming out. Now I'm rebuilding the carburetor. This is my first time. I'm not a professional, so don't take what I did as go. As you see here, the bose is pretty cruddy. Everything was really dirty actually. Right there on the pump, bunch of crud everywhere. But we got it all cleaned up. So now I have to put the distributor back in, and to do that I need to get number 1 piston top dead center. Compression stroke, I believe, if I remember correctly. Could go off the timing marks down there, but everything's so dirty I don't even think I'll be able to find it. And that's the bad thing about this. If you don't do it yourself, you never know if it was done correctly or if it's at the right spot. You don't know what you do is you'll spin it or turn it over or bump it until, once I find the hole, it pushes your finger out, and then that lets you know that both of the valves is seated and it's on the compressed stroke because it's causing compression. Hence why it pushes your finger out or makes that poof noise. Should be able to reuse these. Get the numbers for these heads. ARP bolts in it. Big old valves in there, boy. Now we got air coming out. So what you want to do is get that cylinder top dead center, compression stroke. Put this in there with this little thing right here pointing towards the passenger side where it was before. And then you get this right here and you point it directly from the distributor cap up to number 1 cylinder. Sometimes this can be a pain in the neck, or at least for unexperienced people like me. That's close right there. Should be it. Ain't all the way down though. So you can see there's a little bit of gap in there. That's because the oil pump stick is not in all the way up or in the groove of the bottom of the distributor. I want to hold that down while spinning this with a wrench to get it to drop. Or at least that's the go. We'll see how it goes. There we go. That's good. Alright. I really don't remember where I left off at last time, but I took the valve covers off, cleaned them up, got it to top dead center. That's where I was at. Dropped the distributor in there. Got the cap back on it now. Got the spark plugs ran. Carburetor on there tightened up. Replaced the fuel line that was underneath it with this to this. A lot better. As far as the firing order. So the way most of the Chevrolet engines are set up that I know of, the V8 style, if you look right here, you can see where the top of the intake kind of curves over. That side of the engine is set back just a little bit, by that much, right there. So the head that's sticking out forward will be your starting point. Odd on this side, even on that side, and the head that's sticking out first will be 1. First, 1. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a picture up right here of the firing order and how it goes. So with this being 1, you'll run it to where it says 1 on the distributor cap. Then 3, you'll run it to where it says 3 on the distributor cap, so forth. That's how you do your timing. I was amazed here because none of these fuel filters have any type of indication of what type of micron they are. None of them. There's like 3 or 4 different sets of fuel filters here, and none of them had the micron on them. It was astonishing. But anyways, let's get back to work. This is my truck. I've replaced a lot of these fuel lines. I've replaced a lot of stuff on this truck, but it's not mine, and my goal is to get it running. So I want to be reusing a lot of this junk as long as it works. I noticed on this they had thread tape on this, which it shouldn't because it's the flare fitting. Now I see why. You can see a burr on it. Yeah, that's going to cause issues. So I'm about to get the handy dandy files, diamond files, big files, sandpaper, and get that all cleaned up. I do not have a key for this. I want to have to go from behind it and hot wire it. Or not. We've got a battery in here from the Jeep. We got juice now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over a little bit, try to get some gas in here, get out some of the old crud. I don't have the distributor wired up at all, so it's not gonna throw no spark, and it ain't gonna get no gas because it's unhooked, but it should turn over with a screwdriver. Let's see what we got with some power. We got on. Let's see what the radio sounds like. Got some nice little Kenwood here. Got some speakers over there. It says stand by. I don't want to stand by. I want to listen to some music. 1059.
Me or visit us at Land.
You realize Mother's Day is Sunday, right? 1033
That damn little speakers sound good. Alright, anyways, this is enough of that. Alright. First turn over in years. Ruh-roh. Got an issue somewhere. We have a problem. It is not trying to start. Got my little helper with me. Girl, what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? So it's about time to wrap up this video. Got everything back together. Got the fluid drain out and still cruddy and old. It needs to be, the gas tank needs to be drained out. Probably do that later, at a later date. And he's gonna buy a new carburetor for it. I got this one running. I think I put it back together wrong, or I mean, there's a lot of things. It needs to be correctly timed. It needs to be tuned, or a new carburetor. It needs a correct dipstick in it. I don't think that is, because it was reading it was full and it is not. The right size battery, that's the one out of the S10. I did have the Ultima in here, but anyways, it needs a good battery. Got the oil changed back out of it for the second time, or third time. You pump the gas a couple times, a bunch of times. I don't think that's bad for a cold startup. I ain't ran this thing 2 days. Flushed out some of that old fuel. There's some of the fresh fuel. See, there's crud all in there. It's flushing out. I need some fuel. It's sucking in too much air. It's showing about 8.5 pounds. The other day it was showing 7, and about where it's at now. Got some water in it. And now it's in reverse. Oh, brakes. Got her driving. Damn thing's already out of fuel. This thing guzzles some gas. When I was taking it down the road, I hit the brakes and this thing went straight to the right. Almost threw me right in the ditch. This thing's terrible. It has drum brakes on the front and back, like I mentioned before. It's definitely gonna need some work. I haven't got that far yet. I'll probably make that another video. But as far as this, she's running, she's driving. Still need some more work done to it though. But I can only go as far as the money that is given to me. But I got her running. Well, folks, that's all I got for this. Till next time.